Zythar tapped his fingers gently on his desk, reading the reports with a mix of awe and skepticism. The idea of trees being conscious was difficult for him to grasp fully, given his grounded, logical mind. But the fact that this phenomenon was scientifically documented across various species left him wondering, what else was there to understand? The reports went on, diving into the controversy that had been growing around Cadi Tirp for decades. The chemical atmosphere wasn't just a miraculous communication tool. It was also a potential point of contention. Regulation or freedom. A large portion of the galactic community argued that Cadi Tirp's abilities should be regulated. They believed that the chemical properties of the planet could be weaponized or misused, especially by those who sought to control thought or manipulate consciousness. The fear was that Cadi Tirp's telepathic abilities could enable individuals or groups to infiltrate minds, subtly control thought patterns, or force decisions without consent. This view was held primarily by politicians and corporate entities who valued control and stability above all else. They believed that, if left unchecked, the planet's unique abilities could lead to widespread psychic exploitation. On the other side of the debate, there were those who saw the telepathic link as a spiritual gift, something to be shared freely among all who came to Cadi Tirp. These advocates argued that the planet was a tool for intergalactic unity and understanding. If everyone could communicate on such a deep, instinctive level, cultural barriers and language differences would fade. It would allow for true empathy, not just words or symbols to be the foundation of interaction. These people believed that Cadi Tirp's power should remain untouced by regulation. It was a natural phenomenon, and therefore, it belonged to everyone, equally. Zythar paused, leaning back in his chair, his mind whirring. He had read about interspecies diplomacy before, studied the intricacies of cultural exchange and peaceful coexistence. But this was different. The idea that people could literally feel each other's thoughts, share experiences directly, without the limitations of language or interpretation. It was a radical concept. He thought of Lyra, of her excitement, and the profound sense of peace she had felt on Cadi Tirp. She hadn't spoken of any political controversy. To her, the planet had simply been a place where she felt connected, not just to others, but to the universe itself. In a world where technology bridged communication gaps, it seemed almost magical that such a raw, unmediated form of communication could exist. Zythar quickly accessed more data, diving into the heart of the controversy. The debates were heated, and while the scientific community was largely neutral, many spiritual practitioners and philosophers from across the galaxy argued vehemently for a world where such gifts were freely available to them. Cadi Tirp's telepathic connection was a sacred bond, one that connected the physical and metaphysical realms, allowing every being to experience a shared existence in a way that couldn't be replicated by technology or traditional communication. But the opposing view was powerful too. If such a connection could be weaponized, could it be used to control populations, to force a form of unity that erased individuality? The ethical implications were complex, especially in a universe filled with political intrigue and power struggles. Some believed that the planet needed to be carefully monitored, and only certain individuals or species should be allowed access. Zythar's mind raced. He knew that he, himself, had been taught to see the world through the lens of logic, that all communication should be structured and measurable, to have an ability as unquantifiable as Cadi Tirp's telepathic connection. Well, it was both beautiful and terrifying. What would it be like to communicate without words, without barriers? Would this telepathic gift really create understanding? Or would it erase the individuality that defines species?